All right, let's jump right into it. Today, we're talking about something really powerful: how to get past the gatekeepers, the guards in our lives. We're going to explore what it takes to get direct access when it feels totally impossible.
You know the feeling, right? Like there's this massive wall between you and someone or something you desperately need to reach. It could be a person, an opportunity, but you just feel shut out. It's a feeling we've all had. So to really get a grip on how to break through these barriers, I want to share a story. It's an incredible story from the American Civil War that perfectly sets up this whole problem. And, well, it reveals a pretty surprising solution. Just try to put yourself in this young soldier's shoes for a second. He's just suffered this unimaginable loss. His family's future, everything, is on the line. And his only hope, he thinks, is to talk to the most powerful man in the entire country, President Abraham Lincoln himself. And there it is, the barrier. He gets to the White House full of desperation and just gets completely shut down. The guard's words are like a brick wall. The rules, the protocol, the president's busy schedule, it all just stands in his way. No way through. So what does he do? He walks away, totally defeated. You can just feel the hope draining out of him, right? But then, right there in that moment of despair, something happens. A little boy sees how sad he is and just asks him what's wrong. So the soldier, probably thinking he has nothing to lose, tells him the whole story. And get this, the kid's response is just amazing. There's no hesitation, no "I'll see what I can do." Just a simple, confident statement. I can help you. And then he takes the soldier by the hand and just starts walking.
Can you even imagine what's going through the soldier's mind right now? They walk right up to the same gate where he was just turned away, and this time, nothing. The guard just lets them pass. They walk into the White House, right past all these important-looking generals and officials, and nobody says a word. How is this even possible?
They walk straight into the president's office, and the little boy says, "Daddy, this soldier needs to talk to you." You see, the boy was Tad Lincoln. He had no idea about rules or protocol. He just knew his father.
And that right there is the whole point. That's the lesson. The soldier didn't get access because of his uniform or his sad story. Nope, he got in because he was literally holding the hand of the son. It wasn't about who the soldier was, but who he was with. This idea of direct access, that's the core of what we're going to study together.
Okay, so great story, but what does it mean for us? How do we actually apply this? Let's use that story as a launchpad for a kind of weekly study session, a roadmap for building that same kind of direct connection in our own lives.
Our foundation, our anchor for this entire week is going to be this memory verse. And look, it's not just a command to be happy. It's describing a state of being, a life that's lived in this constant, open connection. Praying continually doesn't mean you're talking 24/7. It means the line is always open. The connection is never broken. So here's our game plan. On Sunday, we'll talk about our first response to things. Then Monday, we'll get into our motivation. Wednesday, we'll focus on the quality of our conversations. Thursday is a big one. We'll tackle the barriers that stop us. And then on Friday, we'll wrap it all up with a plan to make this a real lasting habit.
All right, kicking off with Sunday. The focus is all on our immediate response. When the guards of life, stress, fear, bad news, when they show up, what's our first move? The soldier's first move was to try to solve it himself. But what we learn here is that our first move should be to lay it all before God. Not as a last resort, but as our go-to plan. And then wait, expecting an answer.
So for Monday, we're shifting our focus to why we do this. This connection isn't some chore we have to do. It's a response. Think about Tad Lincoln. He didn't help that soldier because of some rule book. He did it out of love. In the same way, we're not just following rules. We're building a relationship, staying connected through things like prayer and His Word, because we're living for Him.
Wednesday is all about quality over quantity. I mean, anybody can pray when the plane hits some bad turbulence, right? But a real quality connection, that's different. It's about moving from just repeating stuff mindlessly to having a real conversation, just like you would with a friend you trust with your life. It's the difference between a formal request and Tad just saying, "Daddy."
Okay, Thursday, let's get real for a second. We need to talk about one of the biggest barriers there is. It's that voice in your head that says, "It's been too long," or "You messed up too bad." Guilt. It can be a powerful guard at the gate telling you that you don't have permission to see the president, so to speak.
And this verse, this is the answer to that voice. It's as clear as day. Jesus Himself says He will never,
Not maybe, not sometimes, never drive away anyone who comes to him. That fear, that guilt, that's not coming from him. He's the one holding the door wide open.
And Friday is where the rubber meets the road. It's all about action. This is a super simple, practical plan to deal with the guards of distraction in our day-to-day lives. First, just identify a few things that pull you away. Second, make a real plan for how you're going to close the door on them. And third, take a moment to write down what happens when you actually create that quiet space for connection.
So as we pull this all together, if you remember one thing, let it be this. Access isn't about following a complicated set of rules to try and earn an audience. It's about nurturing the relationship that has already given you one.
And this is what that path of growth really looks like. It's not some one-time event, it's a daily rhythm. Talking with him in prayer, digging into his word, really thinking about it, singing his praises. Every single one of those is another way of just holding the hand of the Son and staying connected.
We started this whole thing with a soldier who was desperate and couldn't get past the guards on his own. All his need, his story, it didn't matter to the system. But the second he took the hand of the Son, every single barrier just melted away. That same hand is being offered to you, right now. So the only question left is, what's keeping you from taking it?